Hey guys, welcome. In this video, we'll talk about Rohtang Tunnel and how this tunnel can turn from boon to bane. So, let's begin. This tunnel, Rohtang Tunnel, is named after former Prime Minister Atal Ji. So, this tunnel, Atal Tunnel, is constructed under Rohtang Pass. This is Rohtang Pass. It connects Lahaul and Spiti to Kulu. Now, this is Leh Manali Highway, and this Rohtang Pass connects both the districts. Now Rohtang Pass remains closed for near around 6-7 months, and this is the time when whole of the region of Lahaul and Spiti get disconnected from rest of the world. Now this tunnel will prove to be boon to these people as they can now travel through this tunnel to Manali, not waiting for the Rohtang Pass to open. So this tunnel proves to be a boon, and as it will ensure access to healthcare facilities and business opportunities and all the essential items for the local people throughout the year. And this tunnel will also reduce the travel time between Leh and Manali and also strengthen our defense preparedness and generate employment, and by giving impetus to the tourism sector, as tourism sector will really grow out of uh, after the construction of this tunnel. The tourism sector is really growing as this is the arid region. The landscape beauty of the place, beauty of the region is tremendous, you can see, and the local people, the tribal people, their culture and the beauty and the glaciers, snow-clad mountains, you can see, will attract a lot of the people who are visiting Manali, who used to visit Rohtang Pass, will now visit Lahaul and Spiti also, and this will boost tourism in the region. Talking about tourism, here Mr. Chandramohan Prashira, Professor and Director at Himachal Pradesh University in Institute of Vocational Studies, Tourism, he is writing in through his Facebook page on 3rd October. He is expressing his joy of this construction of tunnel, and he is suggesting here to write, to compile all the stories of people who really struggled, who used to come through these mountains of snow-clad mountains and used to travel through this terrain, the high mountain terrain, for days, taking with them all the necessities, the dry food. So they really had this survival skill. They used to take with them all the dry fruits, for they used to come, maybe a student had his exam, maybe somebody had to visit a hospital. So these were the struggles. They need to be compiled as they will be a heritage for the upcoming generations. And this is what he is saying in his post. But on October 11, the other post, you can see in this post he's surprised and he's really concerned about the about this sudden unplanned tourism that is happening. As you can see, it's been just 20 days after the inauguration of Atal Tunnel, and various reports are reported by different news channels like littering. You can see these are the bottles of drinks, and you can see the garbage around the rivers and open defecation, cases of open defecations, tourists stealing potatoes and apples from the local farms and teasing tribal women. These cases have come up now. These are really concerning. These are immediate impacts of the tunnel and tourism that is being that is growing in this region even during this pandemic. So we can imagine what will happen next if not controlled, and if we go through the Butler's destination life cycle model. Here you can see with time number of tourists grow from the destination is explored, involved, developed, consolidated, and different stages it go through. And in this Deoxys iridex model, the irritation index model, you can see with the number of tourists increasing, the feelings of locals towards tourists also change. You can see in the beginning they have euphoria and apathy towards the tourist, but they then turn into irritation and antagonism against them. So this is really concerning. If we see Leh model, in Leh earlier they had these traditional toilets, dry toilets, but after tourism being grown, tourism developed, the dry toilets turned into wet toilets. So these wet toilets harmed the contaminated the rivers and also the garbage mountain in the valley. You can see without proper waste management, the valley has turned into a garbage spot, a garbage mountain, and problems of traffic and pollution has also come up, and the financial leakage, all the money that is generated, that is tourism is making, is going, is just parked outside Leh and is not reaching the local people. So that is also a concern. If we talk about Bhutan, so Bhutan's model of sustainable tourism is recognized all over the world. It is famous for its sustainable tourism practices. So they are what they are doing. They are focusing on better, may it be few but better. So they are concerning for, they are focusing on low volume and high value. So they have established this framework for development of tourism in which they underpin the gross national happiness of the country, and with an aim to generate high value tourists, they insist on that visitors from other countries spend a minimum of rupees $250. So they have this limit, the minimum spend limit for visitors per day. So this model is recognized by many for their sustainable tourism practices. And at last, from these points, we can conclude that state level sustainable tourism development model should be developed, and in this model, we can include different practitioners, urban development experts, ecologists, hydrologists, local residents, and elected representative of districts, and they should focus on local people first. All the problems of them should be addressed, and the benefits should go to local people first. And there should be solid and liquid waste management plans, as you can see uh, here, these garbage and problems of open defecation, because there's no facilities of public toilets, and uh, dustbins are few because the population in Lahaul and Spiti is few, and that's why the infrastructure is also few. But now it needs to be planned out. But with tourism, if infrastructure has to be constructed, then we should always focus on nature friendly and vernacular plan, that aesthetic beauty of the place is not harmed, and the style of architecture is vernacular, climate resilient, and traditional, native to that place. And the untreated wastewater should not contaminate our rivers, and we can also impose some limitation of daily visits. Daily permits should be given like we do in case of Rohtang. So visitor management, visitor entering Lahore Valley can be controlled through this, and a green fee that can also be imposed to create and manage tourism affairs in the valley. This fee can be used for that. These are the things we can do. Otherwise, this boon for the residents that we have of Atal Tunnel can really turn into a bane with irreversible changes in their ecology, environment, and behavior.